All right, guys. So there's not many stories that can drive me up the wall and just piss me off so much as this next story that I'm about to talk about. I just can't even stand to think about it because the hypocrisy on the far left is just so ridiculous. I mean, no winner has been decided yet. President Trump is obviously going to try to challenge this election and try to have an outcome in which he feels like the election was not stolen from him. And President Trump has said 1,000 times that he just wants every legal ballot counted, okay? And he has good reason for that. But for whatever reason, these people, these lunatics on the far left, think that it is an unforgivable sin to support President Trump or to be a so-called Trump supporter. But before we get into that, my name is Greg Foreman, and you're watching A Black Conservative Perspective. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and most importantly, share A Black Conservative Perspective, aka a far leftist worst nightmare. And I'm going to start saying that because these are the people that are really the people that we need to go after. But you can also follow me on Twitter at GForemanBCP. Let's get it. All right, guys. So this story. So apparently, people on the far left, aka leftists, Neville Trumpers, super liberals, have began piling a list of Trump supporters. Okay. So, and this starts with, of course, AOC. So AOC went on this really long, borderline incoherent rant about how the centrist Democrats are blaming the far left for the centrist Democrats losing House seats during the election and not having that blue wave that Nate Silver and all the wrong, soon to be unemployed pollsters predicted, okay? And one of her tweets after this rant was asking the question of, is anyone archiving these Trump sycophants for when they try to downplay or deny their complicity in the future? I foresee a decent probability of many deleted tweets, writings, and photos in the future. Michael Simon, who describes himself as a former staff member for the Obama administration, replied in the affirmative, linking to what he called the Trump Accountability Project. He says, yes, we are. It's called the Trump Accountability Project. Every administration staffer, campaign staffer, bundler, lawyer who represented them, everyone. Apparently, this database also includes a list of federal judges appointed by the president. So there's this database out there that includes names, addresses, whatever, right, of all the people who've been associated with Trump politically, it looks like. So then the Emily Abrams, who apparently works for Pete Bootyman, tweets, we're launching the Trump Accountability Project to make sure anyone who took a paycheck to help Trump undermine America is held responsible for what they did. Join us and help spread the word. Okay? And now, finally, Jennifer Rubin, who I don't even know who this woman is, who describes herself as a Neville Trumper, pro-democracy opinion writer at the Washington Post, MSNBC contributor, says any R, Republican, now promoting rejection of an election or calling to not to follow the will of the voters or making baseless allegations of fraud should never serve in office, join a corporate board, find a faculty position, or be accepted into polite society. We have a list. Guys, you don't know how frustrating it is for me to read stuff like this because the hypocrisy of the far left is damn near endless. But before I get to Miss Jennifer Rubin, I want to talk about AOC. This video was actually supposed to be a video in which I give AOC some advice because I'm starting to feel bad for her. It has become abundantly clear to me that she has no clue how to talk to people at all. She has all these crazy ideas that I don't agree with, and she has no idea how to communicate those ideas to the people that she claims she's trying to help. And it's very sad to see. So I felt bad for her, and I was going to basically give her some advice on how to actually communicate with people in a way in which your ideas may be receptive to them, or at the very least, they may listen to you. But instead, when she tweets stuff like this, it makes me think that she deserves everything that she gets, because she will never, ever, ever be more successful than she is right now in politics, because she literally has no clue how to talk to people or win over anybody with her ideas, because she is too militant. And I'm going to get a little bit deeper into that. But now it's time for me to address Miss Jennifer, who said that any R supporting President Trump basically should never serve in office, join a corporate board, find a faculty position, or be accepted into polite society. We have a list. What does that mean, right? Like, what do you define as promoting rejection of an election, or not calling to follow the will of voters, or making baseless allegations of fraud? What does that mean? If we see videos online of people saying that X, Y, and Z was happening to them during the election or at a poll station, is that baseless? This is what people see. As a politician that's elected by the people, if my constituent sees something that they feel is unfair, should I ignore that person? Should I not try to solve that person's problem, or show concern for what that person may feel is an illegitimate election? Because if not, then you're not doing your job. And what the president is saying is not that people's votes shouldn't be counted. What he's saying is that he wants legitimate votes to be counted. Is that what these people disagree with? Do these people disagree with that? And to me, it's making me start to seem like they do disagree with that. That when they say every vote counts, what they really mean is that every legal and illegal vote. President Trump has said 1,000 times every legal vote should count. He's making that specific nuanced statement for a reason. He does not want you to think that he is trying to disenfranchise voters, or trying to make it so certain votes don't count. If they're legal, then they should count. Everybody who is pro-democracy understands that, and they agree with that. And that's what President Trump has been saying. So if you agree with that statement, you should never serve in office, join a corporate board, or basically be accepted in society. That means all the Republican politicians at this point who've been supporting President Trump, according to these guys, should not be accepted in polite society. They shouldn't have jobs. They shouldn't be able to feed their families. And in order for them to actually execute on this, they may have to go the Keep Olbermann route, which is to forcefully remove them from society. Is that what these people want? I can't tell at this point. They try to act so holier than thou, when the reality is, when put in the same situation, if the shoe was on the other foot, we have seen them do the exact same thing that they're saying that they would not do, and what they are scolding President Trump for and acting like it is the worst thing in the world. Guys, you remember, Hillary told Biden he should not concede the election under any circumstances if it's close. Hillary said that, guys. Hillary has still not accepted defeat in 2016, guys. I'll give you another one. Stacey Abrams, the same person that a lot of the Democrats are praising for helping with voter turnout in Georgia right now, still has not accepted defeat in her governor race that she lost a couple years ago, that she says was basically rigged with voter suppression. And because the current governor was the Secretary of State at the time, and she said it was conflict of interest. She's making the exact same claims President Trump is making. She questioned the integrity of the election, but the Democrats stood behind her while she, complained about losing. And we didn't get posts like this. People weren't talking about how she should not be an elected official, or not have a job, or not be able to feed her family. Matter of fact, they was talking about trying to make her vice president or speaker of the House. That's what they was talking about. They're elevating her. And she basically did the exact same thing. So, again, guys, the hypocrisy with these Democrats is unreal. But the problem with people like Jennifer Rubin and AOC is that they believe that anybody who supports President Trump, they're supporting him because they are racist, sexist, bigots. That's what they believe at their core. And because they believe that, this is why their ideas will never go anywhere, and they will never be successful at what they do, especially in politics, because a vast majority of people that support President Trump are not racist, sexist, bigots. People supported President Trump for various reasons across the spectrum. Some people supported President Trump because they will never vote Democrat a day in their life. They're like, nope, I'm never voting Democrat, regardless of who it is. I don't care who it is. Some people voted for President Trump because he appealed to middle America. He appealed to the common man. He appealed to the small business owner. He appealed to the laid off factory worker or the worker whose job got transferred overseas, who've been disenfranchised. That's what he appeals to. Trump ran on populist ideas. He ran on protectionist trade policies. That's what he did. He ran on trying to be for the little guy and trying to relate to those people in middle America. That's why he won. That's why he became so popular. And this is not rooted in racism as much as it's rooted in the economic reality that a lot of Americans are facing on a day-to-day basis. Trump tapped into that. Some people supported President Trump because of abortion. They're against abortion. That's why they supported him. Some people supported President Trump because they don't support the far left's agenda of trying to take down the patriarchy or dismantle the nuclear family. I mean, particularly, that's why a lot of men, minority men, supported him, in my opinion. And speaking of so-called minorities, President Trump has had the best minority turnout in election history for a Republican candidate basically since the Civil Rights era, guys. So for you call this man a racist, sexist bigot, it is incumbent upon you to explain why all these minorities voted for Trump. How did he get so much minority support? So that can't be it. It got to be something else. This is why these people will never win, because they don't think about the everyday person like me and you and what we're going through on a daily basis and how we feel. They don't care. They're so caught up in their self-righteous, far left agenda where they feel like they're holier than thou, they're better than you, they're better than me, that they're some type of Christ-like figures that have committed no wrongs, that are sinless, that they have no ability to communicate or relate with the people that they claim they're trying to win over at all. And they believe that anybody that supported President Trump has committed a sin that cannot be forgiven. It can't be forgiven. So we have to punish you for the rest of eternity because you decided to support President Trump because you thought that he was going to help you feed your family, or that you thought that he was going to help bring jobs back to America, or that you thought that he was going to save the lives of innocent babies. They believe that you are fundamentally a bad person for that. That's what they believe. It just reveals the hypocrisy of the far left and highlights why they will never, ever, ever win anything. They're always losers. They can't even win within their own party, guys. The far left, the so-called social democrats, the AOCs of the world, they are beyond the pale. I mean, in her ideal world, guys, like every time she tweets something, the first thing she tweets, she leads with something about racism or black and brown people or something about, women and always using this colorful language, this SJW language that turns people off right from the get-go. And then she wonders why she gets so much hate. It's because you give hate. When you start with hate, you should expect to receive hate. So don't sit here and try to come to me and act like you some type of angel and that you know what's best for people and that they don't know what's best for themselves. That's ridiculous. You can never tell somebody what you believe is best for them. You have to ask them, no, what do you believe is best for you and how can I help you? That's where you got to start. That's the problem with these fools. They think that they know what's best for you instead of you knowing what's best for yourself. And that's why they sit on this pedestal on social media and look down on us and think that we are the bottom rungs of society and that we need to be basically not accepted in society anymore. I mean, this is what they're saying. And again, like I said, this is why they'll always lose. They have no ability to communicate or relate. And this is just another example of it. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.